welcome from the team here at Going Beyond. Vidya Singh is here with me in our studio today. She's a fitness enthusiast and seems to have spent many years of her life climbing the mountains. She's done it in 19 different places. 19 places. India, Nepal, Bhutan, Peru, and Patagonia. Seems like she's pretty much covered the world. She's also a national swimmer. She's got gold medals. It seems that this is one guest here who's just done it all. Vidya, thank you for coming by today. It's really sweet of you. Now, you've been climbing mountains, trekking, etc. So when was the first time you did this?
Thank you, Jennifer, for inviting me here. I think my first trek was in 2013.
As recent as that?
As late as that, unfortunately for me. But two friends of mine, T.M. Krishna, the singer, and another friend, Badri Vijayaraghavan, they met me one day and said, would you like to come on a trek with us? I did not hesitate for a moment. I just said, yes, I'm coming. I had never been into any mountains other than Kodaikanal or Ooty.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm just going. And we went off to Ladakh. And we wandered about in those mountains, Zanskar Valley, Markha Valley, all the way up to the Stoke Kangri base camp for 3 weeks. And it was for me a life-changing experience, I think. It just something happened to me out there, and I just felt like I was one with those mountains. Mountains tend to seep into your soul.
Right. So you then decided that this is the way it's going to be for me.
It happened that way because soon after that trek, a year later, another group of friends from Chennai who also go trekking, Arjun Kripal Singh, has a company called Get Up and Go. So he asked me, would you like to join us on a trek? We're going to Uttarakhand, Himachal, Rupin Pass. Again, I just got up and went with them. Right. And like that, it just one flowed into the other. And in the last several years, I've been doing 2 treks a year sometimes.
Right.
And
but Vidya, now at 72, you really are the oldest man or woman, really, to undertake Kilimanjaro. And this is our program. It's about your trip to Kilimanjaro, which was so recent. So now, let me ask you, was that a temptation to go on that? Was it a temptation?
Kilimanjaro, Jennifer, interestingly, is one of the 7 summits in the 7 continents.
Right.
Now, those mountaineers who summit Everest, for them, they have to tick off those 7 summits on their, which comes onto all their bucket lists.
Right.
Kilimanjaro and Mount Elbrus are the 2 summits, one in Africa, one in Russia, which are trekkable mountains. So they are suitable for somebody like me. I'm not a mountaineer.
No, but what's the difference between a trekker and a mountaineer then?
Because a mountaineer, you need mountaineering skills, being tethered with ropes, climbing with ropes, crampons, ice picks, and you need a lot of body strength. You need a lot of training for that. Everest itself, I think people stay 2 to 3 months there just going up and down those mountains there just to train to do the summit.
Right.
Whereas these 2 summits, you don't need any equipment, just your good strong legs, a good pair of trekking shoes, and you're good to go.
Right. So how high is Kilimanjaro?
It is 5,895 meters.
That's about 14.
It's 19,000 plus, just below 20,000.
That's very, very high.
It's a high mountain. Although having said that, last year in 2023, I did a mountain in Ladakh called Mentok Kangri, which was actually a little higher than that, 6,250 meters. And the year before, we did Unam Summit, which is in Lahaul, Spiti area. That is 20,110. So technically, I had done 2 summits which were higher than Kili. But this was a challenge.
You're sitting here in the studio and you're just opening a different world. Are you ever frightened?
Not at all. To be honest, not at all.
Why? Isn't that a natural feeling?
No. There are dangers on the road, on the pathways. There is ice, there is snow. You could slip. There are cliffs. In fact, for Kili on day 5, one of the things we had to do was to climb something called the Barranco Wall. It's a 950-foot steep cliff. So we had to climb over that. And the day before, we looked at it across the valley and we're like, oh my God, how are we going to climb this? But once we started climbing, all 10 of us in the group actually began to enjoy it. It was hard, but there were tiny little crevices and places we could put our feet, and the path took you up, up, up. So it took us about 2.5 hours climb, and we did make the Barranco Wall.
Right.
So those are the challenges.
This just amazing. Though I just loved hearing you talk about it. Now, how much preparation and what sort of preparation do you have to do for something like this?
The thing is, living by the ocean, there's not much of hills that we have here. Mountains, we have two little ones, St. Thomas Mount and Tirusulam, both near the airport.
Yes.
Tiny little hills. So we do go there about 5 weeks beforehand to start climbing up and down, an hour and a half up and down the hills, just to give us a little bit of a raised heartbeat. But other than that, all of us trekkers train anyway. For myself, on Sundays, I bicycle about 50 Yesterday, I was my bicycling day, and I bicycle about 50 kilometers on Sundays. Twice a week, I swim about 2 kilometers in an hour and 10 minutes. Twice a week, I lift weights, and then I do a walk with a weighted vest. So I am in constant training. There's a machine called a ladder mill, where it's not like an automatic machine. You have to actually climb it to make the ladder go around. So this is a very good machine to train on, to strengthen your legs and upper body for climbing.
Right. So apart from this physical preparation that you have to do, how about getting mentally prepared? How difficult is that?
Technically, I have a pretty
strong mind.
Strong mind. I don't get intimidated so much. Of course, you have to be prepared that it is not easy. It is going to be a tough climb. Almost, maybe not the first 2 or 3 days we're in the lower ranges, but as you go higher, it becomes more and more difficult. And another thing, you never compare mountains. Although I've done so many treks, every terrain is different. The mountain itself is different. The atmosphere is different. The weather patterns are different. On one climb, we had continuous snowfall. We could actually see the snow, while we were climbing. We've had rain even on this trek. On day 6, we had quite a lot of rainfall, water flowing down the mountains. And, so everything is different. So you deal with it as you come to it.
The whole thing just seems one huge challenge to me.
A challenge and an adventure.
Okay.
You can look at it that way too.
Right.
It is challenging. There's no doubt about it. But the thing is not to get intimidated. And at the end of the day, we never try to conquer a mountain. You always climb with the greatest respect for nature, for the mountain. The universe does conspire often to give you near perfect conditions to climb.
Right. So when you're actually going up a mountain, you have some support staff.
Of course. I always take a personal guide cum porter who walks right next to me. And
that's an experienced person.
He's a local experienced guide, actually. And he carries my backpack. So if I want water, he'll have to give me the water, or a little snack or a power bar. He carries everything.
He's like an assistant for you.
He's an assistant, like a personal assistant.
All the way up and
all the way up and all the way back. And he'll help you up over, like if it's a very steep rock and you can't actually climb it, he might give you a hand up. And on the way down, you definitely need their help.
Why on the way down, not on the way up?
Because the mountain, going up, somehow your legs are strong and you are climbing with the trek poles. Coming down, the path is so steep and so slippery. There's loose gravel. Everyone falls backwards on the path coming down. You have to climb down over those big rocks that you've climbed up over. It's always more difficult coming down.
Right now, so now you've done 19 from what I've read.
Yes.
Was there ever a time in these 19 that you said, no, I can't do this. I think I'll just give up. Has that happened?
I don't think ever. In these 19 treks, I've enjoyed myself so much. I enjoy the challenge. And I love being there. And it's a feeling that, you've fulfilled something that you wanted to do.
So then isn't there a feeling of having conquered the mountain then?
No, it's never about the mountain that you conquer. You conquer yourself.
Okay.
Your fears, your nervousness, your whatever you feel, you conquer that and make it to the top.
Right. Kilimanjaro is in Tanzania, right?
It's in Tanzania.
Tanzania, right?
And it's
on the border. with
Yes,
Kenya.
it's at the border. And also it's the highest freestanding mountain in the world that is not part of a range. Most mountains are part of a range, like all the Himalayas or Andes, going to the Andes or Alps. They're all ranges. Kilimanjaro is the single highest freestanding mountain.
Oh,
So that's a very interesting thing
right.
also.
So how do you decide then? Tell me, Vidya, how do you decide? I mean, the world's got full of mountains. And there's somebody
Yeah.
like yourself probably itching to climb every single one of them.
Yes.
How did you decide then Kilimanjaro is what it's going to be?
Arjun Kripal Singh, who has the trek company, he plans several treks through the year and he offers us the options.
Okay.
So we do have another one going in June in Ladakh.
Okay. Are you going on that one?
I would love to. I hope it happens. Let's see the situation.
Right. How many people went to Kilimanjaro?
This was about 10 people, out of which 8 of us summited. 2 people, what does hit a lot of people is something called altitude sickness.
Right.
The high altitude. The minute you cross 10,000, we are people who live on the plains. So our blood composition does not have the ability to absorb that much oxygen. So we do tend to get altitude sickness.
Right. Okay.
It does hit you, but we take a medication called Diamox every day, morning and evening, which actually helps to suppress that.
Right. So when you say the 10 of you went, so don't you all have to get on with each other? And how does it work?
We tend to do that. A lot of times we are part of a group that we have already trekked together a few times, so we're quite friendly. And in fact, this time there were 2 people who joined us who were from Germany. We didn't know them at all, and they were father-in-law and son-in-law. Very cute. So they took a holiday and adventure trek together.
It's very interesting, really. Yes,
very interesting.
So tell me, Vidya, how long does it take you personally to be actually ready to go? I mean, do you need 2 months to prepare, 3 months, 4 months? I don't know. How long does it take?
Usually we have a couple of months to prepare. Like we already knew a few weeks ago that the next trek may happen in June. So the thing is, with most of us, all of us are exercising every day anyway. So that fitness level is there at a certain level.
So you are planning your entire calendar, climb this mountain, climb this mountain, climb this mountain.
Yes.
So does Everest ever becken for somebody like you?
Unfortunately, I'm practical and I realize first age is a factor. I'm not physically strong at this age to be able to build that kind of strength. I don't think I'm capable of training that much. You really need to build a lot of strength and legs and it's not easy.
Very realistic thinking, I think, on your part,
You
right?
have to be. I mean, at 72, I'm doing more than a lot of people who may be 30 years younger than me.
Surely, for sure.
Fortunately, I'm able to do it, but
Right.
I don't think that I could do real summits.
Right. Now, Vidya, pardon me saying so. You are from an erstwhile royal family.
Yes. Vijayanagaram, which is in northern Andhra.
Right. So it's pretty expensive to do mountaineering, isn't it? How expensive?
You know how expensive. See, the thing is that trekking in India is not that expensive at all.
Really?
Not at all. Even Nepal is not at all. Tickets are not very much, not expensive. Kilimanjaro, I would say, I won't even say it's that much more expensive than going on a holiday overseas.
So tell me, how much would it cost? I mean,
This was about 2 lakhs plus. For everything to be taken care
Everything.
of.
That means ticketing.
No, tickets were extra.
Okay.
But over there, for the 10 days that we were there, 10 or 11 days, all our stay, all our food, the guides, the tenting, the sleeping bags, everything that we needed was given to us over there.
Oh, it was given there.
From the time we arrived, we were taken care of.
Right.
Transport up and down from the airport, transport to the starting point. Then for 10 of us, we had almost 25 guides and chefs and helpers, tent boys, toilet boys, all of these going with us.
So everything is pretty much organized, as it were.
Very, very organized. Even the meals, the chef rustles up amazing food for every meal.
Okay.
I have to say, in Africa, we were 4 of us who were pure vegetarians on this trip. And we did have a little bit of an issue with the food.
Well, what did they feed you?
They gave us lots of avocado, lots of salads, lots of fruit. All of that was fine. Some potatoes, some bananas, fritters and things like that. But the main food, which was some kind of a stew, was not something
Palatable.
that not palatable.
Not
for us.
palatable,
The
really.
non-vegetarian people had fun because they ate possibly every animal
Under the sun.
under the sun, they were eating everything, so that was okay for them.
So you had a leader, a group leader?
It is a local company called Kili World Born Safaris. And Bongo is the leader, and Afrikaan is his main, the second in command. So they took charge of everything, and they were very strict on the climb as well, on every single day. In Africa, in that local Tanzanian language, there's a word called pole. Pole means slowly, slowly. So they set the pace for us to climb. Unlike in India and Nepal and all this, we can keep our own pace and
Do
just
your own
go.
thing.
Do your own thing over there. They are very strict, and they monitor us throughout the day, throughout the climb, how we are doing. They're watching each of us. How are we doing?
Really?
On the one of the summit day, one man got a bit disoriented and dizzy, so they immediately came and took his oxygen level. He had oxygen had dropped down quite a bit. They just sent him down. That's it. No more.
So they make that decision,
They
or
make
do
the
you,
decision.
as a climber, say, "I don't think I can do this anymore. Can I go
One
back?"
of the girls did say that. She said, I'm dizzy, I can't go anymore. So they put a guide with her and sent her back to the campsite.
So does that mean that the next time she or he wanting to go on a trek would have to take that factor into consideration?
They will have to be a little more careful. But again, like I said, every mountain treats you differently. The atmosphere and the climb, each time it can be different. These people may not have any effect in any other mountain.
Right.
But this one, because of, it's a combination of the rarity of the air, the cold. It was extremely cold. The upper levels were minus 15, minus 10, minus
Wow.
15.
That's cold.
And windy in some parts.
That
very
is
windy.
cold, yes.
It is cold.
So how old were you when you did your first trek?
I think I was 58 or 59
That is
years old.
amazing.
Yeah.
Did anybody try to put you off?
No, nobody did. They were
Really?
I mean, I just went. I was so happy. My daughter is the naughty one, so she said, "Mom, better climb all those mountains quickly. You're running out of time."
No, she was quite wrong there. I
She was
could
quite
obviously
wrong.
see that,
Yeah. But it's an amazing experience being out there. It does something to you.
Really?
Because you've got snow, you've got sunshine, you've got moonshine, you've got clouds, you've got blizzards, you've got rain. All of it is there. And the mountains, the paths, there is danger at every turn.
I can
You put
imagine.
a foot wrong and you could
You're
crash
gone.
down the
You're
mountain.
really
You're
gone, yes.
But I think as you're climbing, you realize you're up to the challenge.
Really?
And that gives you a little more
Impetus, really.
to keep going.
Impetus,
And
yes.
anything that happens, you just keep climbing,
Right.
and keep going.
Okay.
And
In retrospect, would you like to have started this earlier?
in retrospect, I certainly wish I could have had the experience. Maybe when I was about 30 or 40, even 40 would have been good.
You would have got to Everest by now, I
I'm
think.
sure.
I'm
pretty sure of it. I'm pretty sure because that would have been the challenge that everyone wants to go.
Pinnacle, really. It's
Really
pinnacle, yes.
And there are a lot of people, even from Madras, from our own group. There's one young.
There are quite a few
Rajshekhar.
Everesters.
Yeah.
I know we've met some.
Muttamil,
Yes,
Muttamil is
as
there.
part of.
Then there's a young girl, Kamya Kartikeyan. She's already done the 7 summits.
Wow,
in
that's
the 7
amazing, isn't it?
continents.
That
she's
is
doing
really amazing.
Antarctica and Arctic now.
Right.
Kamya.
Now, when you think forward, apart from the one in Ladakh now that's coming up, is there any long-term goal for other mountains you want to climb?
We do have one long-term goal for next year. There is a mountain called Mount Elbrus, which is in Russia. It's the highest mountain in all of Europe and England, higher than Mont Blanc and all those.
Really?
It's much lower than all of these mountains. It's maybe 5,000 something.
That's not much, is it?
Below 5, much below Kili. But again, that's one of the 7 summits. So even the Everest summiter will want to do these.
Really,
too.
they
So
have to. They have to do it in a way.
They have to do it to complete that 7 summit
Right.
goal.
I want to ask you from a personal point of view, when you get back, do you dream of getting going? Do you dream of this trip that you've done? Do you dream about, what happened? Could I have done it differently? Is there any other way it's
I think
possible?
we're all longing to go back.
Really?
Almost longing. Like I've done 5 treks in Nepal. I would go back, like if somebody says come tomorrow, I'd just straight away get up and go. And
Your whole life revolves around the mountains.
it seems like that. We're just waiting for the next, and the next.
The next trip. Did you grow up in the mountains? No,
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. I mean, we had home in Ooty, but it was not growing up there. But we are very much Chennai city people, with the ocean.
Do people all the time ask you about your treks?
A lot of people are interested because, interestingly, Jen, a lot of people do think about it. They read about the treks. A lot of people might want to do it. But I think for us, we are the people who are blessed that we can actually go out there and climb those mountains. So I think that's something that gives us a huge impetus to think of the next one and the next one.
Right. I was reading the other day in the newspapers that something like 400 or 400 plus people have actually taken the permission now to climb Everest. Yes. So does this mean that when you are going to climb, you have to get some government local?
Of course.
Really?
And you have to use local companies wherever you are. In Nepal, it's always a Nepalese trekking company that our company ties up with.
So whoever's planning your trip, they get that permission, is it? Is it easy to get it?
Very easy to get it, but...
is it expensive?
It is, again, not very expensive.
No?
Very, very good prices. And we have to use local trekking companies who provide all the infrastructure and the boys, the men, all of that. The ponies, sometimes we use yak. Sometimes we have ponies. Sadly, quite a lot of porters who actually haul the luggage, all the luggage, and
you have to have somebody to help you carry that.
Are carried up.
Exactly. So now, when you come back from a trek, do they? How are you accepted, or how are you acknowledged that you've been to the top of X, Y, or Z mountain?
People are always congratulating. Oh wow, you've done Kili, you've done this, you've done that. So I think it's more than that. It's for our own satisfaction. I think that gives you that sense of feeling that, okay, next, what's the next one?
Right. Are a lot of people, young people, interested in climbing?
I think now things have started, especially in the last 5 or 7, 8 years.
Really?
A lot of young people. There are companies who take young people up at very, very budget prices. It's not for us. We need a little bit more comfort.
Okay.
Like I have a guide, my personal guide, Tejram, who's from that Himachal area. And he's done 2 summits with me. Mm-hmm. So, in fact, the second summit, I told Arjun, our guide, leader, I said, if I don't get Tejram, I'm not climbing Mentok.
Oh, he's your go-to guy, security blanket.
Completely. He doesn't leave my side. And I even have a habit of climbing 20 steps and stop and breathe 5 breaths. Again, 20. So I can keep going at that pace quite easily. He'll give me water. He knows when I want the water to drink, to sip. The wonderful young man, Tejram. 2 summits with
sort
him.
of almost a luxurious kind of climber.
It is. I won't say it's glamping. I mean, in India and places, the toilet is a hole in the ground with a seat and a tent, no water.
That's pretty rough, isn't it?
It's very rough.
Very roughing it out.
Nepal is much more comfortable because you stay in little tea houses, which are like wooden little tiny hotels. So you get a bedroom to share and proper bed and clean sheets and all of that, and a toilet. And in Nepal, you can actually have a hot shower at some levels.
You must have wonderful stories to tell. Wonderful stories to tell.
The best one I can tell you
is that I'm going to come to that.
There's a place called Namche Bazaar, which is in Nepal, which is like the gateway to Everest and all the climbs in that area. Now, we stayed at a little hotel. We always stay there when we go that side. It's owned by a man called Kancha Sherpa. Now, he's 92 years old.
Wow.
And he is the last survivor of Edmund Hillary Tenzing Norgay's team that climbs Everest in 1953. I get goosebumps when I think about him because he's an unbelievable man. We all met him, went and took his blessings. And it was an unbelievable experience to meet him. There's an English lady who wrote a book on him, so we all bought the book and about his life. So he's there. He's 92. He's climbing the stairs on his own. Comes up in summer to the hotel. His son runs the hotel.
Right, amazing. What about younger people? Have they come to you for advice? For
Not really. Why not? Really. I don't know. In Madras, maybe there are not that many youngsters who are wanting to climb. People are involved in so many different sports nowadays. So this is taking you out of your comfort zone,
right?
Into an area which you don't know. It's rough. everything is rough. Living is rough, and
Right.
all
What
of
do you
that
think
stuff.
is the most difficult part for you to cope with? Is it the uncomfortable conditions? I don't know, food, toilet, weather, what?
I think for me, food would be a problem because of being vegetarian. But in the Himalayas, often they give us mostly vegetarian food anyway, except for the first couple of days. Food, and I think not having a bath is a little bit of a
Must be how
for
many days, Vidya?
Oh, I've gone 3 weeks without a bath. It's just wet
Really?
wipes that we use, and that is a little bit. The toilet has now we've got used to it because we get the tent, so you got privacy, you got the hole in the ground, and then they give us a pile of mud with a spade to cover up what we've done.
Wow. It doesn't that doesn't look luxury at all
no,
to me.
not at all. But you tend to get used to that.
That's what I was going to say. When you first went, it must have been quite an eye-opener, I
It was
bet.
very hard getting used to all of these things.
Right,
Although
okay.
the boys who I went with, Badri and TM Krishna, they spoilt me rotten. I had a tent to myself. I had 2 guides walking
So
with
you
me.
were you were encouraged in the right direction, shall we say?
Completely. I was so happy.
Yeah. Tell me about Patagonia. How was that? That is in Argentina,
In
right?
Argentina.
Yes. Okay.
Between Chile and Argentina,
Yes.
it's there. That was just magnificent visuals. Mountains are not high, embarrassingly low compared to our Himalayas, but the treks were tough, long, very windy. 2 or 3 times the wind was so strong across a lake, the big, almost like waves on the lake from the wind. I got blown away so hard that I actually fell into the bushes.
Wow.
Fell backwards into the bushes with the wind, and somebody had to pull me up. But it's simply magnificent.
Right.
Machu Picchu is fabulous. That's in Peru.
They say.
And that was 2 nights, 3
That's
days.
the Inca Mount, where the
Inca
temple is.
temples
Yes.
up
Okay.
there.
That
was
takes a lot of climbing.
A lot of good climbing.
But don't a lot of tourists go there?
Oh, it's packed with tourists. But climbers, not that much. Because there's an easier way to get there. You go by train and then go up in a little minibus.
My gosh, Vidya, this interview could go on forever because it's totally, totally fascinating. I am so grateful to you for having come in here.
Thank
May
you.
your tribe increase, really, and may you
Yes.
climb many, many more mountains. And even if you don't get to Everest, if you're even in the vicinity sometime...
We've seen it.
You've seen
We
it.
have seen it.
We've seen it. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you,
do
Jen.
appreciate it
Thank you
very
so
much
much.
indeed. And good luck to you. Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it's been great fun here to talk to Vidya Singh. She's been a true pleasure. And don't forget to be back with us next week, going beyond. Till then, take care. Bye for now.